Yo, it's your boy Brian B.Y. Jennings, and right now you're watching True School Sports. Yeah, though.
Because you get to watch it, you get to watch it happen. So like a guy like Jarrell Miller, who's fighting tomorrow, his first time on HBO. I got to see that happen. Like, so Greg told me a couple years ago when I first got involved, like, we have someone who's going to be a world heavyweight champion. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big deal, like, for me to say that. Like, if I was a music producer or something, and I told you that I'm working with a guy that's going to be as successful as Jay-Z or successful as Lil Wayne, that would be a pretty bold statement to me, right? So if I said that and I did it like 2 years later, you'd be like, wow, like, I got to watch that happen. I saw the process. I saw how it worked. He said he was going to do it. I working with someone. He said he was going to do it. He did it. You're like, okay, this is pretty cool. And you can follow that same framework. You can follow that same framework with other fighters. So it's been fun.
Okay.
It's definitely been a fun past few years, and I'm excited for Jarrell Miller's fight. I guess we'll get into Jarrell Miller. He's fighting tomorrow. I think if he has a great performance, I think he will. I think he could be looking at a fight with Anthony Joshua next year, which, in my opinion, would actually be the fight of the year. So if you take
the fight of the year,
it would be the biggest, most talked about. I'm not saying I don't know how the quality of it. I think it would be a great and amazing fight. But I think if you're to think about the biggest fights, what do you think are the biggest fights you can make next year? Throw fights.
Okay, Wilder, Joshua.
Wilder, Joshua.
Oh, you got Terrence Crawford versus any of the top welterweights.
Right, but take a look.
Thurman Porter rematch.
Okay, Terrence Crawford, pound for pound fighter.
Okay,
right?
you're talking from a business standpoint.
I'm talking about business, and I'm talking about height. I'm talking about people watching it. I'm talking about people buying it. What are the biggest?
They're all heavyweight fights. It's all heavyweight fights. Yeah.
So heavyweight fights. So I'm saying I think Jarrell.
Oh, Golovkin, Canelo too.
Golovkin, Canelo, but it doesn't sound like that fight's going to happen yet. We already saw it happen. I think we already know what the numbers were. It's not. It's not 4 million pay-per-view buys. I'm not saying Jarrell Miller and Joshua would be 4 million buys, but I'm saying if you look at the numbers, talk about money, you talk about gate, okay, you talk about selling out Barclays Center, okay, you talk about selling out the Garden. Take a look at how many people are going to watch the hype around this heavyweight fight on a world scale. So you're talking about the United States,
United Kingdom,
you're talking about the UK, you're talking about Australia, you're talking about the whole world. This is a heavyweight fight. You want to talk. When you think about legendary fights, who are you talking about?
Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Evander Holyfield.
Ali Frazier.
Holyfield. Riddick Bowe.
George Foreman.
Larry
Joe
Holmes.
Lewis, Larry Holmes. What do they have in common?
All heavyweights.
They're heavyweights. So I think I'm very excited about Jarrell Miller. He's in shape. He's in the best shape he's been in over 2 years that I've seen him. I think he's a beast. People don't know about Jarrell Miller's chin. They don't know about his stamina. They don't know about his will. So, you have a 285-pound guy with a chin that was already at the highest levels of kickboxing, and is just an all-around amazing athlete. You're going to get to see that. You're going to see it tomorrow on HBO. And I'm hoping to see the Joshua fight next year, or some other very significant fight. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, Eddie Hearn did say, like, if he looks sensational tomorrow, he told me himself out of his own mouth while I was interviewing Jarrell. Yeah.
Right, you have a good relationship.
Yeah, I'm Bruno Mars. I'm Bruno Mars to Eddie.
You do look like Bruno Mars, so I can understand why he calls you that. Look, Eddie has said it, and look, there's other fights. There's Parker. There's Wilder. I think Parker's going to fight Lucas Brown. And I think Wilder is going to fight another Heyman fighter. So I think it makes sense with Eddie coming to the United States and doing his with Eddie setting up a multi-fight deal for his company with HBO. So I think it makes sense. And ultimately, when you have a heavyweight champion, they need to fight in the United States if they want to be at the world stage. Like, the United States that's where you come if you want to be a great boxer. If you want to prove yourself that you're the best, you have to make it in the United States. You have to fight here. You have to beat someone from here. You have to do something with the U.S. I mean, if Anthony Joshua obviously could sell out 90,000 without even blinking an eye in the U.K., but it's like, okay, he's done it there. Now you got to come here.
Got to come here
and let's see what you can do against Jarrell Miller. Let's see what you can do against the top U.S. heavyweights. Let's see if what you could do in the ring is going to translate against an American, heavyweight from Brooklyn, New York. So I'd love to see the fight, and we've worked with Eddie. Greg has worked with Eddie on a couple of championships.
For this fight right here, you're working with him.
So it would be great for that fight. I think it's the biggest fight of the year. I think it brings the most money of the year. I think it's the best fight for the fans.